All right, what's going on, everyone? We're going to be painting the model known as Son Diazzi. I don't know how to actually pronounce it. She's titled the Trash Queen, the Trashy Queen, on Instagram. I thought it was so. I consider her pretty brilliant performance artist, and I just saw these images of her laying on a bunch of trash bags. That's just hilarious, and I feel like I have to paint it. So, I'm doing some fan art today. Not any fan art of people that you might actually know, like a super celeb, but just some general fan art. I feel like if you're a performance artist in the way that she does performance art, it's almost impossible to like not get known in some way for it. So I'm trying to pull up my reference photos right now. We're gonna stick with one good reference photo. Oops. Let's see. Let's go one. No. Let's get one where stuff's going across her body. We'll do this one. So let's download this image. Yeah. We're actually gonna paint over this right here. We're gonna paint over this one. I love the lighting on this one. Like right here, just capturing the lighting as it's coming on her face from this angle. You just see the little shadow right there. But I'm gonna paint over this one, cause why not? All right, let's see right now. We're going to let's crop this. Got an image right now. It says resize. No, I want to crop it. How do I crop this? Crop image. Where's the crop image button? Edit. Crop. I want to go over the 3:4. This is a 24 by 36, so 24 by 36, 12 times 2, 12 by 2 to 3. 2 to 3 ratio. Oh, 2 to 3 ratio is different. 24 by 36 is 2 to 3, not 3 to 4. Let me see if I can move her figure over a little bit. No, I'm cropping my reference photo right now. So I will be working from a reference. All right, let's save this. Save. This is the reference we're going to be working out of. And you know what? I got to learn my lesson. What's my lesson that I need to learn? I need to learn that whenever I paint, I'm going to cut off part of the bottom. Well, maybe not. Maybe I don't need to cut off part of the bottom. All right, this could still change over time anyway, but you know, I spent a lot of time working the reference photo, and now we're gonna go ahead and get started painting. Does this move? Scott, what you doing, boy?
She can't come until after.
Careful, I'm streaming. I can't see you.
She's gonna have to come.
Okay. So you won't be able to say goodbye, but you can still say goodbye. Look at Scott, he's playing with them.
Oh my God, Scott wants kittens.
No, Scott, you want little kittens, huh?
They're fun. It's very fun.
Cookie's not a grumpy. Cookie's just a character. Cookie is a character. We're talking about our cats right now. One of our cats wants kittens. You could tell he's a great daddy cat. He's a great young daddy cat. So let's go ahead and get started here. Trying to decide how far with our realism that I want to go as far as not this. So this is not Sun Diaz. This is the painting that we're going to paint over. So I got to get my supplies open first. All right, let's go. Let's go. Is this even gonna look like trash bags? I don't know. I have no clue whether these trash bags will end up actually looking like trash bags. But let's start with a nice rough paint over here. We're gonna block in some of our garbage bags with the blue. Actually, you know what? Let's start with a nice dark blue here. So let's grab white. How did I not bring an ultramarine blue? I did bring an ultramarine blue. There we go. All right. I'm gonna go pretty thin with this. I'm gonna get some thin paint going. Nice dark black. We're to create our initial sketch here. It's gonna go like right down here. So a little bit past center right here. Painting over this. And that'll be about one half quarter of the way up. So like half would be like right here. So we're gonna go about a quarter, which is a little over a quarter, so it's gonna be about right there. Maybe right here, let's go. Let's grab this paint, just lay it in here nice and thick. Consider Sun Diaz, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's some Italian word, but this is you could call this a parody art, you could call this a spoof art, you could call this fan art maybe, if you want, if you so will. But we're doing this paint over here of this figure. We're just gonna do a paint over. Michael Wilbur says, "Stop painting over my masterpieces. I make more money just selling them cheaply." You know, that's probably right. No lie. I mean, I probably should just sell this painting for really cheap. You're right. Probably could. But then that would actually establish the value of this painting at however much I sell it for, which, you know, if I just wanted to get rid of it, I would do it. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta protect your work, your value. You know. And honestly, I think it's valued more. It would be valued more now after doing a paint over of it. And honestly, I don't consider this a masterpiece, so I think the masterpiece is the paint over. The element of painting over what we're working on here. That's what makes it a masterpiece. What?
Nothing. Enjoying what you're saying. That was the lady.
Huh?
That's.
What?
I don't want to say it.
Lady Gaga?
Is it?
Why don't you want to say it?
I don't know. You don't want me to say
Oh,
it.
okay.
I get worried.
Yeah, this is supposed to be Lady Gaga from the movie. What's it called?
Star is Born.
Star is Born. Yes, Lady Gaga from the movie A Star is Born. Sumit Diman. Hey, Sumit Diman, what's up? He's even got a check mark. What is up, Sumit? How did Sumit get a check mark? That's cool. He must be a very well-known art channel. Very amazing. All right, so we have one of the top artists on all of YouTube on our live stream right now. Well, Michael, you're assuming that I need more tubes of paint and more canvases. I don't need more tubes of paint and more canvases. I need more interested buyers. That's what I need.
Yes.
I disagree with the notion that selling your art for less is a solution. Maybe selling prints. Now, you know, selling prints, that's one thing. That's an entirely different conversation. But as far as the overall strategy of just, you know, dumping your work out there, trying to get rid of it for really, really cheap, I disagree with.
Have an auction.
Yes. Yeah, I could have an auction. I disagree with that notion. But I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. So we're going to grab... No. Michael Wilbur says I got to be locked up. Ah. I'll be locked up. Locked up for the absurd things that I do. All right, let's get this, some of these colors. Let's start painting over her. Let's paint over Lady Gaga. Who dares paint over a Lady Gaga? See, this is part of the performance too. That Michael will never understand this vision. Michael will never understand this vision because he's too focused on selling artwork for Goodwill prices. But part of the vision is this whole idea of creating this entire body of work that is part performance on YouTube, part modern criticism of this idea that, like, you know, Lady Gaga sells, right? Like, you do a painting of Lady Gaga, it's probably gonna sell. Someone's gonna like it. You do a painting of Brad Pitt, and someone's gonna want to buy it. Marilyn Monroe. But I think we're past. I think we could get past this idea of idolatry. This idea of idolatry, and paint the things that you actually that you want to paint. And if we overcome this idea of idolatry, I think really free up some free thinking skills. Yes, I know that if I went out in the street with this painting, I could probably make $100, $50 or $100 if I sat around with just this one painting all day long. I think I could easily make $50 to $100 with no brand recognition whatsoever. But I'm not going to do that. And I think it becomes more compelling, this idea where I feel like it becomes more compelling in this idea that if I'm going to do this, painting over Lady Gaga for this performance artist, I think it's like a message, there's a message here. I can't specify exactly, what the profound meaning of it is, if there's anything profound. Maybe it's just BS, but right, I should be using a bigger brush. Let's grab some more yellow. I just like the way that this brush is laying down our paint. Martina's Draw. What's up, dude? Why just one painting? I got an apartment full of junk paintings. I do have a lot of paintings that I would totally paint over, right? And those are, you can consider those junk paintings. But the thing is so I put myself in this hole where, I constantly paint bigger and bigger. So I can't function on smaller canvases now. And all of my older junk paintings that were just throwaway practice, just getting into the move of things paintings, those paintings are they're too small for me now. I just can't work on them. I mean, I can, but just I could get my idea out in 10 minutes. You're outside overlooking the river from your home, you're painting bisons in Yellowstone? Nice, Michael. Dude, Michael, you're on a phone. All you need to do is buy a tripod and then stream. That's it. I don't know. I'm always surprised as to why you choose not to stream. That's all you gotta do. Because you have said that you wanted to do it, right? You're not opposed to the idea of coming onto this stream. So Martinez says Martinez loves paint. Awesome. Well, great. We've all found each other. We've all found each other in this place. Isn't it wonderful? Watch out, kitties. Go. Alright, let me paint our figure here before we get too far into this. Let's grab a little bit of, this really pale color is actually pretty good. We grab some white. Grab a bunch of white here. And you know what, Michael? There will probably be one day when I go out with all my paintings and just sell them for a huge discount, like just to dump all my small paintings. Small paintings and like early works, but not right now. Like, I'd rather have them as free breakfast, take junk to the restaurant, give them families. There you go. Watch out. I'm talking to the cats. So anytime I say something weird that's like, anytime I say something weird that like seems out of place, it's because I'm talking to cats. So let's see, we got one and then a quarter up, we're gonna put her head. So about a quarter of the way up, we'll put her head. But we'll actually elongate her body too. So this is half, quarter. So we do a quarter right here. Let's see, so this is the head. We're gonna come around. It's the head right there. And bring the shoulder just to the top. Ah, wow.
Sorry.
Wow, you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Need wow. What's got a what kind of noise was that? That was like a feral animal. Alright, let's go. Let's bring this out about the length of the head. And we're gonna bring this around. Let's see if we got this proportion right. So we got the head, the muscles, so the head right here, down to the chest. Should probably come like this. And then let's go like this. What reference number am I on? Well, Michael does have a point. Dump them, reuse the money. You're right. I think this can actually be much. Her body could be much longer. I keep forgetting how big are these canvases that I'm painting. But let's try to get some ideas here. We want the feet to come down all the way to the bottom here. So let's see. Let me see. We got half. What this halfway point is about where her entire torso should be up to the halfway point. So her torso should be right around here. Her torso is going to come like so. Let's see, halfway point would be like elbow, right? Let's see, elbows. So halfway point for this painting would be elbows right here. And that's going to go past, just slightly past the head here. We're going to come down. Wow, torso's so. I'm always surprised at how long the torso is. Torso is very long. So we're gonna bring this torso down even a bit further. We're gonna bring this around, just past the head, and then that's gonna come down like this. Why? Trying to figure out overall torso alignment. Show the reference. Michael, why do you want to see the reference? What does it matter to you? You can look her up. If you want to look up the reference, look up the artist on Instagram, Son Diaz. Sondiaze. Sondiaze. So that's about a quarter and a half. So this should be all the way like out here, above the third waypoint. This is way off compared to what it needs to be. So just loosely designing the sketch here. Trying to figure out our proportions. It's okay if it comes off a little. But yes, that's right, Michael. If you want to find a reference, you can go ahead and pull it up. Look up Son Diaz on Instagram. I'm going to give credit to her. She is an outrage artist.
Okay, you watching Emmett? Yeah.
And if you go through her images, you know, I don't want to take too much away.
That looks kind of cool.
I don't want to take too much away from, you know, her as the originator of this piece, right? So I could show you the reference, but I'd rather have, you know, people go actually look at their profile, you know, as a contribution, as my contribution to my gratitude for creating this interesting artwork. Let's see, the torso should take up about a quarter of this whole painting, which that's actually pretty decent.
Look at you guys.
That waist, pants should be pretty much slightly bigger than that. So let's see. Still getting some of our dimensions down. Maybe draw the head a little bit
Okay.
bigger.
Hey, you little sweet girl. You little sweet girl.
Maybe enlarge the head a little bit. This torso is going to come down. Let's go. But yeah, I don't want to give away the reference as a way to, you know, allow the artist who did it to have some credit here. Now let's fill some of this in. We're going to go grab some of our blue. Let's actually fill some of this color in right here. So we're just going to fill it in nice and loose. we're gonna come down. Let's go ahead and bring in some of this blue here. Vicky, what's up? How you doing, Vicky? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for tuning in. So just to let everybody know, I am starting this paint over, painting an artist known as Son Diaz. Son Diaz. That's their artist name. So that's where the credit goes as far as my reference. And of course, I don't want it. So if you are curious about the reference, you can ask, but I'm not going to share it because I want people to go visit their page. So there you go. And let me see. I'm going to bring the size of this out a little bit. So we're going to go over here with these pants, bring them out a little bit. A nice round thing right here. And honestly, I could probably make her head a little bit bigger. She looks extra long with it. Let me see the head size. Head to chest. Yeah, she's kind of rotated and kind of hunched over. So chest. And then chest. I'm giving her a little bit of a bigger torso. Let's see. Maybe we could enlarge the size of her the chest area and do that torso thing. Torso. Michael loves seeing references. Yeah, because I'm using a reference from a social media, because this is sort of fun, half part fan art, part art for supporting other artists in my own unusual way. So I do want to give the credit where it's due. And let's grab, as Michael had suggested earlier, let's grab a bigger brush now. There we go. Michael with the bright ideas. So we're just going to paint down here. So Michael wants to see a 4-inch brush, but you know what? I don't think it's always about the size of the brush. Yes, the size of the brush, of course, but it's also about the quality of the brush. So this brush is just slightly bigger than this one, and just barely bigger than the other one, but this one holds a lot of paint. This one is very thin, very fine brush. This one is a little bit of a rougher synthetic fiber. So this one can hold a lot of paint. It's only a little bit bigger, but it spreads paint so much better. So the size of the brush definitely matters when it comes to trying to cover the surface area, but at the same time, so does the quality of the brush, the actual make of the brush, and what fibers are in it. Let me see, I'm going to grab some black now. We're going to paint in some of these areas. Now that I have her figure sketched out, we're going to come around like this. Grab some nice chunky black here. Ivory black. Actually, I need more. I need more ivory black. Give me more ivory black. Ivory. this artist is definitely going to get known in a couple of years because she is just so outrageous, and she will go where no other artists would go, not even myself. I would never in 100 years eat bread in a dirty pond while the bread is soaking in that water.
Ugh.
And I don't know if it's real. Like, I think it's real, but like, I always wonder if part of her artwork is actually like, organized. But she is outrageous, and I really like outrageous artists. So, I like outrageous artists. So this is a. I always wonder why Michael always likes seeing the references. Are you a spy, Michael?
No.
Are you an art spy? I love this color combo, though, black and yellow. It's a fantastic, fantastic color combination. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Actually, this garbage bag needs to come out a little bit further. And let's go like this. It's a beautiful arrangement of trash. And let's go bring in a little bit of color into here. We're just going to bring up some of these shadows a little bit. I'm just going to loosely paint in some black to have shadows surrounding her. A little bit under the arm right here. Oh, that's a little too far. We're going to have some coming around her shoulder. Right there.
Flying. She'll steal the caps off the bottle just after I unscrew it.
What?
Yeah.
They stole the caps as soon as you unscrewed it? Cats are ridiculous, aren't they?
No.
Alright, let's see how this is going.
I don't think so. I wish.
Let's go bring some highlights up into here.
Oh my god. Well, if Brent is that high, I'm definitely not seeing it. Oh my god. Well, it was higher. Sorry. Okay. Alright, sorry.
Now, I read a great quote today. It was something along the lines of, "You don't need more motivation. You need to raise the raise your standard of what people around you bring to the table." I think that's really true. You know, we are all a we're all the what's it called? We're all a combination of the 5 people we surround ourselves with the most, right? Pretty sure everybody's heard that before. Who has not heard that before? Everyone. Everyone has definitely heard it. So there's a lot of truth to that, though. You know? All right, let's find some brown. We're gonna go into our brown now. So you grab burnt umber. Burned umber. Burned umber. I love being able to paint throughout different times of the day because I get such a wide variety of people. You know, like this is one of those hours where I get the amazing people from South Asia, India. You know what's funny? Maybe it's because they don't speak English, but I don't get any Chinese viewers. Like, I know Chinese people speak English, but like, despite being Chinese, I rarely ever get like people from China, but I get lots of people from India. But oh, you know what? Actually, here's why. So YouTube is not allowed in China. There we go. There's my answer. YouTube is actually banned in China, unless you have a. But you know, then again, that doesn't explain why I don't get, you know, Japanese viewers. Like, why do I not get any Japanese viewers? Or, you know, what would be a time zone that India is close to?
India's a big country. Probably have several time zones.
Right, but I mean, like, yeah, right, you're right.
Next to South Africa.
Okay, there we go. Well, I do have South African viewers, like the good old Joshua Harvey. Joshua Harvey is my, can I call viewers friends? My friends from South Africa. My friends from India. But it's just interesting to me that, like, no one ever introduces themselves as, like, from Japan or Korea. Being an Asian live streamer, and I wonder if it's because I speak English. I think, like, you know, everyone in Hong Kong speaks English. I think, you know, most people in India and Pakistan or, you know, wherever speak English. Bangladesh, I think most people speak English. So maybe that's why there's a language barrier. But I'm just like wondering like why some countries, why some of my viewers come from some countries more than others. It really is interesting to think about, you know? It's like we are globally connected. We are all globally connected. There is one large global connection here. So just getting our shoulder loosely painted in, and then gonna get our and let's get our shoulder here. Can't really tell what's going on here. Let's get this torso going. Give these feet some more pale color. And let's bring this down a little bit further. It's actually pretty discombobulated the way she's sitting. Alright, how do we make, let's get a violet here. How would we get this to a violet? We need a little bit of red, a little bit of pink on top of it. Is that gonna work? I wonder if having like a pink on top of this is gonna give us the purple that we want. That definitely looks really weird, but it's okay. Let's keep going. We're gonna go grab our blue, our ultramarine blue here. We're gonna get it nice and deep into this section right here, get some of our shadows, and then right here.
Oh, the kitten carrier something.
Okay, thank you.
It's her art. She just lies on trash.
Pretty much. Very unusual. Performance art.
Yeah, all I think performance art is. Funny.
That's right.
Very popular.
What?
It's very popular.
Yes. We're just building out our blue here. Building out the blues. We're gonna bring this down right up on the top layer here. And I want to get this purple. Let me bring out our violet. Bring out our quinacridone violet here. So this is a 1980 quinacridone violet by Gamblin. Gamblin 1980 quinacridone violet. Pop that down just a little bit. So we're not going to need that much. We just need enough to cover this outfit here.
Grabbing.
Let's do this. Ah, I see what's wrong. So this area is going to come up, and then right under the hair it's going to come down drastically.
Yes.
Meet up with the arm here.
It's fun to play with. Look at that.
And this is actually pretty
Playful.
good to have.
Oh, baby massage. Yeah. Like this. This is good. That's a fun toy. table extensively?
Oh, for the book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to look in the same places you already looked.
And then right here, we're gonna come. Like that. All right, let's go bring some more of this color into the side here. And go get this field of grass all around here. Her face needs to be covered up. It needs to be a darker shade of this. Let's grab a little bit of our brown. I'm gonna grab our brown for this section. Just so we can have some separation where her hands are.
You caught? Scout, are you caught on this? What do you like this? Scout is really trying to kill these feathers.
It's killing feathers?
Yes.
That's my boy.
Yes.
Killing feathers. Scout's killing feathers. Let's see. Yeah, good boy. Stella, he's trying to teach him how to play maybe.
Maybe.
He's like, this is how you kill a feather. Watch as I kill this
Is
feather.
having fun watching. She wasn't playing. She let us watch.
Alright, let's go into here. This is going to be a darker shade of this. So, anybody just tuning in, what am I painting? This is the artist known as Sun Diaz on Instagram. I don't know if this is really fan art, because I'm not like, a fan, but I guess any sort of, I guess this could be considered fan art, but not, like totally fan art.
Okay.
Moderate fan art. Let's see how it's going. Is it going? It's going good. My eyesight is right in the center, so we're good. Torso's looking a bit more normal. Let's actually bring this stuff down. Got pretty much all of our space covered in. Let's try to find some shadow zones. So what do I mean by shadow zones? Exactly what it sounds like. Areas where it's going to be a little bit darker. So this top corner is going to be a little bit darker. We're going to come down here. It's going to be darker right there. It's going to be a little darker right above the trash bag here. Maybe a little bit more maybe a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? More meaningful with the brushwork here. When I say meaningful, I mean rather than just kind of brushing it, I'm gonna think more about, the way the brushwork is shaped. Definitely right into here, we're gonna have some of this brushwork. And right into here, we're gonna have some of the brushwork. And then right into here. Let's grab this. Come up. It's amazing what a shift in brushwork can actually do. Just a little shift in brushwork. Let's go like this. Open this up. You know what? I should be doing this with like a green. I think green would be a better color for this, but it's alright. We got what we got. Alright, let's find our white here. We're going to bring up this and then in. Let's try to find the shape of her face here a little bit better. So it's going to come around and then just bring it down like that. Right? That's pretty much the shape of her face. Let me see what happens if I add just hints of green. So I'm going to take this dark green, mix it in with our ultramarine blue. So I'm taking a little bit of a green and I'm mixing with our ultramarine blue just to darken the green a little bit. I want to find some nice like green areas. Not too much. It should be definitely be really subtle. So right into here.
Alexa, what time is it?
Got a little subtle.
It's 11:53
Yeah, some subtlety into here. Let's start to carve away at these shapes here, just to define our boundaries of each of these spaces here. Just define the boundaries. Because the boundaries right now, as far as like, where all the edges are, it's still kind of loose. And I'm okay with that, but it's got to be like, I have to tighten it down eventually. So that's what I'm working on right now. We're going to tighten down some of these boundaries by painting around. And why is this so messy? Like, why do I use, why are these brush strokes so wild and crazy and free? I would say I think what happens is like, as I'm painting, as long as it's like the same day, even if it's another day, if it dries, then it's fine, because then I just have this like really loose and interesting design underneath. But if it's the same day, what really happens is I get a lot of variety as far as like how these shapes go. Or a lot of variety as far as how the paints mix together as they're wet on this canvas. So let me see what we're seeing here. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Go with a smaller brush, and I want to tighten this area up right here. You know what, let's add some highlights into our baggage. So we need to create some separation. So like right here, we're gonna go down. So I'm gonna go with the grain here. Let's get with this. This probably needs to be a little bit more blue, just to hit the blue into this white here. And then let's see, we're gonna come in here and then draw again a little bit. Let's grab some more highlight here. And let's go, get a nice highlight, top of this bag right here, nice little triangle highlight here. Another triangle right here.
Trying to stop making gold like this? Why? Making gold like that?
And here we go. So starting to build up the shapes that I'm seeing, the different forms and shapes that are in this.
I told you what's in this and put you in the closet. In the closet. Viewers seeing the kittens?
Huh?
Have your viewers seen the kittens?
Yeah, a bunch. maybe you know, maybe not everyone right now, but definitely over the past few days. If anyone's followed my previous streams, they definitely. Let's grab some black, like just pure black, as opposed to like this black mixed with white for gray. And, right into here. So let's actually.
This? Yeah. Out.
Let's go with the ultramarine, dark ultramarine. For some of the folds in the pants here. Actually, you know what? Dark ultramarine could probably go into here as we start to, you know, establish the foundation of our image here. We don't need these. We can actually paint over these now. And let's even bring this out a bit further. This is a big garbage bag here. Yo, Omizu. What's up, dude? Omizu with the dragon, Kieran painting. Omizu, the greatest contemporary painter of Kieran scenes in Japan. See, I really do get the greatest artist in here. Earlier, I had a guy with the check mark. I don't know how he got a check mark. Omizu doesn't even have a check mark.
What time is it?
It's 12:04 p.m.
But those of you just tuning in, wondering what I'm painting, so it is an artist known as Sun Diaz. So Sun Diaz on Instagram, known as the Trashy Queen, and basically her whole shtick is that she just takes these outrageous photos amongst garbage. But I think it's absolutely hilarious. Obviously, it's performance art. But she does do some pretty outrageous things that I can't even like begin to imagine how she does it or if she actually does it. And maybe that's where the magic is, right? Does she actually sit in a dirty lake and eat bread that's been soaked in the water of the lake? I don't know. But it's outrageous. I don't need to ask. You know, it's one of those things. Like, it's a movie. Like, you don't need to ask if aliens are real in a movie. You don't need to ask if, you know, Superman really landed on planet Earth, because Superman is not real, except in the movies. Let's build up some shadows onto her outfit here. Try to find a good shadow right now. We're gonna come around, and this is gonna be our shadow. And just bit by bit, we're going to be building this up. It's actually working, right? Our build up is working. That's all we can. That's all we can ask for. So, you know, I think one of my favorite social media posts that taught me so much was from James Gurney. So James Gurney showed like a 3-step process of how he paints the most beautiful houses. If you don't know James Gurney, you should definitely know him. I consider one of the greatest artists of our time. Because not only is he a talented realist painter, but he also has contributed to the art knowledge of everybody. He writes lots of books. He's not a teacher, but I feel like as a creative person, he's contributed a lot by teaching people the techniques and stuff through his books. So that's what I consider, you know, a great artist. I think you know, great artists today can't just settle for, you know, making art that speaks to people. You know, I think what makes a great artist is, you know, they're like a contribution to other artists, like Bob Ross, right? Like Bob Ross, his art probably will never be, you know, as iconic as Picasso or why can't I think of an artist's name right now? Picasso, Klimt, Mondrian, any of those people. His art might not ever be as iconic, but I feel like you know, he's contributed a lot, and that's what I think makes great artists today. Is they contribute a lot. You know, they give a lot back. They don't just hoard their secrets in their ivory towers. They give back. There's no more exclusive schools, right? There's no school of Gurney or anything like that. They just if you want to learn from them, you can. Or maybe not the greatest artist, but like, you know, the most contributing artist of our time, James Gurney. Let's see how this starts to look if I take one of my worn out brushes. So these are some of my brushes that I've worn out after a while. They're just super rough. Honestly, I think I want to cut one of these and make them flat. And I think I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to cut one of these and make it flat. Running with scissors. All right, let's check out the result of that cutting this brush flat. It's not perfectly flat, but I don't know. It's the bristles are kind of thick and stuck together. I don't know if it's really going to give me the design I'm looking for. But let's experiment with it and we shall see. I think it's because like this is too dense, too densely packed. This brush was like, the bristles are too dense. See what happens if we scrape away. Like it's like way too stiff right now. So I don't even know if this is gonna be workable. Right, let's see. How do we?
Watching her. So much fur.
I have this tool right here that I want to use as a comb to just see if I can, just separate some of it. Roughen it up a little bit. Use these brass bristles to roughen it up and see. Oops. I don't want to scratch my own hand. I don't think this is doing anything. Really. So why am I doing it? Because I hope it will do something. Our snack coming till 4. Alright. Alrighty.
Bye bye, Maestro.
Alright, later. Okay. Let's see. So this is looking okay. Some of these brushes. Maybe we could spread them out a little bit further, but let's see how this works. Gonna grab our white, bring it into our brown yellow, grab some yellow. It's almost like rubber at this point, I mean, I think it works a little bit better than when it's round, but not that much better. How's that? Is that actually adding any detail that makes it more interesting? I don't think so, actually. I don't feel like that's contributing that much to the quality of this painting. So much for that. Maybe, I could add like straight, maybe this isn't how I'm supposed to use it. Maybe there's another way to use it. Maybe use like this. No, that's not. Well, that's a little bit better, but not quite. what are these things? It's haystacks. It's gonna leave that. Okay, so what am I painting for the record? This is a fan art photo of another artist, performance artist, that goes by the Instagram tag Son Diaz, Diaze, Sondiaze. So she does like these really wild and bizarre art with trash, literally like garbage. And I find it absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So let's get some. Let's get into some finer details here. How do we do this? Oh yeah, we need to get shadow down into here first before we start getting into that. Get some nice deep shadow as we go around the foot here. So let's go to here, just paint around the leg here. Give it that gesture. Paint around here, close that section off, close this off. Close off that section. Now it's all starting to make a little bit more sense. Let's capture her head a little bit better here. So we're going to come down with a garbage can, like garbage bag like this, and then bring this into her shoulder a bit more. And let's get this shadow nice. The shadow on the top of her head. Let's clean off our bigger brushes. We're going to start moving into our smaller brushes here. Let's go. Am I getting all my messages? Let's see. Chat filter, all messages. Oh, I'm not getting all my messages. It's all good. Okay. this other brush. Let's actually use a nice little round brush here. Nice little round brush. So what are we gonna do with this? Let's start by darkening the pants. Start by getting some areas of the pants a little bit darker. So let's see, right in here, there's a little shadow. And then this area, that area of the pants is really dark. So this is fine. Where's that? It's like the pants are almost off. And it's going to be a little bit right in front of her knee here. And let's see, we're going to come around. And go boom. And let's find the top of this, so we're going to get some shadow zones along right here. These bell bottoms. Now let's add some white. So we're gonna bring in some highlights because they're like acid washed paint, I guess. I don't know if they're acid washed, but and then this is gonna come up. Let's go with just a little bit darker along this outline. This is, when you paint, I think when you paint like in this fashion, you don't get overly bogged down in details, because when you do, you can get really, you can kind of like really easily lose your focus. And when I say like when you paint like this, I mean, starting with big, and then just like working your way smaller detail. As long as you get like the main things close to what you want to do, the big shapes, then you can really just enjoy the process of painting once you move into some of the smaller shapes. let's go like this. And let's get into some of the arm details. So we try to bring in some shadow. Well, there's shadow right there actually. So a little bit of shadow right here. And around the arm like that. Let's go to the front of the hand. Let's grab a little bit of this pink. It's like a white pink. Hit the pink here. Come down on the arm like so. Let's see how we can start to design the face here. So we're going to go into the face, this little triangle on the forehead here, get the eyes right there, the nose come down. Got some yellow highlights at the top of the head right here. Let's go, I'm gonna go bring in some of this yellow right like this. Let's add some highlight into the pants. So bring our light areas into the pants here. It's a little too much highlight, but that's alright. Like this. So it's okay if this is kind of popping out a little bit, but I want her physical body to have more depth here. So let's go. Let's get a little deeper with our shadows. So I'm gonna carve some shadows in. Let's find a good brush. Good brush for this would be a filbert. So let's use this liner brush, this flat brush right here. Alright, we're going to create a nice shadow right down in here. Let's see. Past their head, like right here. And there we go. Get another some more shadows just to surround her with some shadows. Let's surround her with these shadows, these dark regions. The dark nether regions. Just to create that silhouette a little bit better. And help to separate that silhouette. And honestly, this area could be also a little bit more dark too. And definitely coming up into here. This arm. We're gonna darken a lot here. Come around her arms. Arm's looking a little funky, so we're gonna reduce the size of it here. And create a more natural curve around her shoulder here. And come over here. Separate the space. And let's see, where could there be more? Let's let's see. What if I had to sneeze while doing this? Eddie, with the amazing question. What if I had to sneeze while doing this? It might just ruin my life. If I had to sneeze while doing this, I think my life would just totally be ruined because, how could I allow myself to ruin a perfect masterpiece all because I couldn't hold in a sneeze? I would have to ask myself that question for the rest of my life, and I would just totally not be able to paint or do anything with myself because I would, that's what might happen if I sneezed. So therefore, I can't sneeze. It's not an option. Sneezing is not an option, okay? Don't sneeze while painting, people. Joking. None of that is true. Totally made that up. None of that is true. Not one single breath of that, what I just said was true. All right? Just so everybody knows. It's not obvious enough that it wasn't true. The exaggeration, the sarcasm. If it wasn't obvious enough, I'm making it very clear now. You do have to do that sometimes, though, especially on the internet, like, especially in text. It's so easy for people to misinterpret things or to interpret things in the way that they want, the way that benefits them. Let's go into here. We're going to get a dark area of the pants here. What if I sneeze? My life would be ruined. I don't know how I would live with myself if I had to sneeze while doing this. What would you do if you had to sneeze while doing this? And it just gets built up bit by bit by bit by bit. Just keep building and 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 building. Alright. Let's get this brown. And this brown needs to cover her eyes. I come down like that and give her their triangle face. Give a little wispy curve right there in the hair. Get another shadow coming down. And let me try to find some good old brush to add some highlights. So I'm actually going to use a really small brush. We went from using some of these bigger brushes to use a really small brush right now. This is a 0. Rosemary Code 0. I'm going to use this to capture some highlights. me add. We're gonna add a nice dark brown. Capture the eyes here. Just leave it like that. All right. We're gonna build this out. Use some white. Let's see. Let me go bring this like this. Let's see if we can find a couple little subtle details in our hands here. So one, two, three. Let's get the other hand. And we're going to go one. Nice. Let's see, where does this go? No, you know what? Before we tighten up that hand, we need to fix this highlight here. So let's add some pinks on the cheek. Let's see where I'm going to continue going with this. Come down. Gonna add some more shadow coming across here. Just try to find the shape of the hand. So this is gonna come around, and then we're gonna go. And right into here, the shadow. And let's see, what else? What is next? You know what? I can feel it now. I need to take a break. Because I'm starting, so like, switching from major details to small details, you really gotta like have a fresh mind. Mind has to be fresh. Fresh mind. It's not going to be a long break, just going to fresh up. But we'll be back in a little bit. Actually, you know what? I might keep my YouTube stream on. No, I'm not. We're going to start over. Start a new stream once we get back into it. Close up some of our supplies, but those of you that are here, hey, thanks for jumping in and chopping it up. Back in a little while to work on some high music videos. We're actually about to take a break right now, so I appreciate you jumping in, but come in a little bit. I'll be back on in maybe an hour or so, something like that. An hour, maybe less. But take care. Be back soon.